Reggie's Corner Variety Gaming.
Which is super cool, of course, but we'll do the pleasant route.
Okay, so now we are here a good portion of this area, and we will still try to kill this battle because they hit like a truck and they're annoying.
Also we have, and that's a feature, that we have a little timer in the left upper corner, so you can actually see how much to get spin spend.
And that is also
It's a new
feature. So that is really good, and that is the community also. Once again, they added a lot. There is actually, for those who are really interested in speedrunning, there is officially they run on, I think it's 1.1.2 because it's kind of the chosen version that is almost the original, but with two major bugs fixed. And that is also includes like split times and stuff like that. So there are like an official speedrun version of this.
That's cool.
And there is a speedrunning Discord channel that is kind of friendly.
Yeah, which is nice. Because speedrunning can be a bit daunting to get into. For many people, the idea of speedrunning feels a bit too hardcore, so they don't really have the courage to start it up because they think it's gonna be tough to get into the community and talk to a lot of people, but there's a lot of friendly people as well, so don't be too afraid.
And here we are going into the actual station itself, so we are killing the you call it propellants and in order to lower the and that is also like one of those areas that are a bit complicated if you don't know where.
And of course, you play this game a bunch of times. So it looks a lot smoother than if you're doing it for the first time because you don't know where to go and how to do everything.
And even if you have like a map, you still need to like figure out
So if you do this on your own and you get stuck, don't worry, that's kind of how it's supposed to be.
For this example. So now we are coming almost really soon coming up to the first suit upgrade. So many of us know that in these games you usually find suit that makes you traverse easier and take less damage, and here it is. But this we are fetching the Varia Suit.
Okay, so reduce damage by 50%.
In most of the other classic Metroid games, it helps you to traverse like water and stuff, like elemental stuff. But in this game, it's only reduced, or not just only, but reduced
damage. It's still a really good one, obviously, but it's not as good as it can be, and it's also different colors, so you can see the graphical difference.
One thing that is also mentionable is that you are getting a lot of missiles even from the beginning of the game, so you can spam them much more than like Super Metroid, where you start with nothing and have like just a few.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned how many you can have.
It's 250 missiles, it's 10, or is it 20? I can't remember. I think it's 10 of supers and 10 of super balls.
So there's a lot more than standard Metroid games.
And you can also, you have on this screen you can see the percentage as you collected. So now we have collected 32% of everything that is included. Yep, that's about it. Yep.
So, my very amateurist tip is that if you play through the game once, and you want to get like going with the speedrunning thing, it's always good to have the complete map readily available because then you can kind of strategize easier because you know what to get next, and you don't have to exit the gaming screen in order to look at it.
So, and another important thing that we will be mentioned is, especially if you are doing it as fast as you can, is that when you pick up stuff in this game, you replenish your, for example, if you pick up an E-tank, you replenish all your health.
Yeah.
So that can be used for to save like times, otherwise you need to perhaps use a save point in order to fill up on energy.
Yeah.
And that is kind of unique for this game when you're comparing to other Metroid games.
That wasn't too bad.
No, they can be really funky.
If you don't get a good angle,
Yeah.
it's super tough. That was smooth. Super smooth.
Yeah. So, and here are two more of these babies in this area. So first we will take this one. And you can access this area with bomb jumps without high jump boots, but it's kind of built for high jump boots.
Yeah,
so
it's
a
much
bit
tougher.
easier.
And also there you show that there's thorns down here, so you take that.
Yeah, you do, but it's not that much, so you can actually tank it. And
Especially now with the new suit.
yeah, and it's only easy, so it's not that rough.
Yeah, we should probably get into that a little bit. What's the difference in difficulty? If you do it on easy, it's fairly doable. If you do it on hard, how hard would it be?
I would say it is hard because it hits like a truck. So, and especially of course if you do like low percent or something, because 100% would always be the easiest category because you have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But you really on hard, you really need to know the attack patterns. You can't take like
a lot of
damage because it's meant to be, and especially on fusion, which is the new hard that is even worse. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And also you mentioned the thing that is not just for this game but this genre, but these games are usually the most difficult, like in the first hour or two, when you don't have stuff, and then they progressively get easier.
Yeah. And here is the first new. So for the first was alpha, and this is beta.
Yeah, you can actually see turning on it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they are evolving, and there is some lore about that they started all of them started alphas, and then they with this kind of virus and stuff, and they
evolve.
Yeah.
But the same thing applies to this one as the small one. You have to hit the little green stuff on the belly. So you have to get the angle just right.
Yep.
You can hear a tremor there.
That's the earthquake that happens every time you reach 0, 0 of Metroids. You can traverse to the next area. And that's kind of interesting because you don't actually, if you want 100%, yes. And this item that we will get from the next boss, we do really want, but you don't need to finish the bosses at all, basically.
Which is kind of cool.
Because the only thing that matters is the killing the Metroids.
Yeah, so like bosses are there, and I think like a lot of people probably like killing a boss, but it's not mandatory.
No. Or there are like two that you actually can't skip, but most of them.
Which is kind of.
So, talking about optional, we will actually now encounter the first real boss that we really want because we're getting a good sweet item here.
We are all about the sweetest of items.
And now we can jump over those ones.
Which is nice.
Yeah. So, save the same. It shouldn't be a problem at all, but you never know.
And you always want that sweet save spot. I mean, why torture yourself? And also, we made pretty good time, I think.
Yeah, it's roughly half an hour. I would say that when we are coming to the place that is called the tower, which you will see directly why it's called the tower. If you are there at roughly like 2 hours, yeah, that would be awesome.
Gorgeous. It's like an armadillo.
Yeah. That's not really how we want it, because you... So the basic thing is 3 times in those selected spots.
Yeah. Classic 3 out of 3.
So just try to juggle him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Bounce into the leg. It's pretty cool boss design in this game.
Especially if you imagine that most of these bosses were not included in the original, so they are kind of like Dr. M64's creation.
But it fit. So
Yeah.
done a good job with that.
And here it is Spring Ball, and this is super useful because now we can jump in morph mode.
So we're basically like a bounce ball.
Yeah. And this is kind of showcasing that you don't need to bomb jump anymore, you can just...
Yeah, so that's definitely a thing. Like we mentioned it earlier, that you always get stuff eventually that you can use. So now we got something that we can use instead of like bomb jumping.
And that's it for this area. So now we are off to the next
adventure.
Yeah.
Well, the next part of it.
Let's see, where are we supposed to go now? Yep, we are supposed to go there. Whee!
Yep.
And as we said in the beginning, you want to be in morph ball as much as you want.
Yeah, kind of funny, because I think a lot of people, when they think about Metroid, they don't think about the ball. They think about the robot.
And now we can take this item here, because now we have high jump.
Makes that a lot easier.
Technically, you can of course bomb jump up to the roof, use spider ball, and then roll over. But yeah, it takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of practice, and that took us all 25 seconds. So that was quick.
Yep. So next area is the industry grounds. I think it's called something with industry at least. When this is a
So
really...
That's one of those areas that you kind of have to know, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, how those got out there. It must have been like leaked community or something. Or there are people that just go over every pixel in the game. Find like the secret stuff.
There were actually a shortcut found just like this year, I think.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. That this was minor thing, but anyhow, it's interesting that
there's new stuff.
Yeah,
still
and that
found.
was like a super kind of hidden block that was not shown in any way that it was breakable.
Yeah, so people hadn't tried. So
And maybe
new
there,
enemies?
yeah, and mayhaps there are perhaps 1 or 2 things that has not been found, and there are techniques that are, as I mentioned earlier about the zipping and stuff, that is just shy of a year since they're found. So it's evolving.
Yeah,
and
which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and I would probably say as Super Metroid has evolved for 20 years of speedrunning, and this is also just getting started.
So there will be a lot of stuff eventually, especially when this game gets to be completed.
Let's see. Yeah. So from one boss to another, now it's a little bit of a boss marathon.
So what did we get there?
It's the space jump, so we can do like this. And here, before I'm not gonna showcase it because we will want to see all the boss fights. But here you can use, when you pause, you're actually progressing a pixel per.
For instance.
So you can skip. There is a trigger there.
Oh, so you could just get through that little barrier and leave. That's
But
cool.
we want to kill the boss.
Yes. Little show.
And this is also
It's
from...
one of the bird people.
Yeah, exactly, but an evil one or something. It's
Yeah.
the one from Super Metroid that is... That's just phase 1.
Yeah.
So now he will take to the sky.
We'll power up and level up. Oh wow. Get ready.
So, I want him to stay...
Stay more fixed. Yeah. Oh, so that took like nuclear attack?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
So is there any health meters on the bosses?
No, and that's actually a thing that is just looking right. But in most of the other Metroid games, the bosses kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, like I say that they're usually changing color. So they are the redder and redder the more damage they get. But in this game, no, you don't have... Well, the last boss you actually see that she is getting more and more hurt. But otherwise, no, you don't see on the
Which
boss.
is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like there's usually some indication of how much damage you do. Industrial complex.
Yeah.
So area number 3.
Sneaky miss.
Yeah, once again, like
Yeah. And now, the sad thing I think with placing the base jump this early is that you don't need to utilize wall climbing.
yeah, you're right. It's so much easier just not doing that. So maybe the pacing could have been slightly different. Like what you get and when you get. Oh, here we got another one of them.
And this is really easy when you just get it.
You have to get him to just be above you. Yeah, it's easier.
And here we are in for, let's see, yeah. So we are getting the speed boosters, so that is a super iconic and really good item to use.
And as per usual, like there's new areas, there's new enemy types.
Yep.
So do you have like a favorite area and like a not favorite area?
I would say the growing grounds that is coming up soon is my least favorite, and I would say the tower is yeah.
So we can see what that does.
Oh, almost, because one special technique that I almost got is that you can chain when you are in space jump mode and are in speed
Like
jump
boost,
mode.
yeah.
You can chain it so if you morph and then unmorph and start, you can progressing into that state.
Oh yes, you can just accelerate.
And then I would have been able to get through this.
Oh, on the same side. Okay, so you could have chained your way through the
And that's like the first showcase of the Shine Spark, that you run and then you pause and Samus goes into this kind of height mode and you go up. And here is also a thing I can showcase that is a bit unique for this, is that if you do something like that and on the slope you can store it once more.
Yeah.
And this is used everywhere to store and go on and go on and
So
go
you'll
on.
just prolong it a bit.
Yeah, and so showcase for this is that you want actually first store and you want to go up here. Yeah. Oh. And that's also a thing with this. In other Metroid games, you are supposed to be invulnerable when you are in that state.
Yeah. So that was a bit mean. So what happened there was that you kind of got what you wanted, but
Bad luck
Didn't
with
play
the
ball.
with the
Yeah.
timing.
Yeah. I think we got a little bit. And here we got... Oh, we should probably mention that even though they've evolved, there are still small ones.
Yeah, and they will be even to the end of the game. It's like they put in one of these for memes, basically.
Yeah, because they're not better. They're still the same.
And they are killed by 6 missile, 1 super, and 1 regular one.
And now the energy tank.
So basically, if you hit that shine spark directly, then you skip all of that and just fly through it.
Yeah, which is nice.
And here we go down to the more interesting stuff. So there will be a little bit of these mazes of morph balling. It goes fast. We're already up to 155
Yeah.
missiles.
Yeah, we're getting stuff.
It's- Let's see what it's first. Okay, so here's one of the new mini games that is in the
so
only real mini game in the game.
you can take control of one of these little robots.
And you're using that to help Samus to break barriers that she can't at
Yes,
this point.
yeah.
And the thing is that you
I guess you can get smashed by these.
Yeah.
You're not timing
exactly. So the idea is at least that you just jump around, grab new ones, so there are like 3 of those barriers that you need.
Oh yeah.
And you can, if robot gets smashed, you get a new one. So it's just a time boss.
Yeah.
So you don't need to redo the room or anything, but it's more
Which
that.
is kind of nice. So it's more like you can ruin as many of these dudes as you want, but you won't get through this part unless you broke user.
And why there is a robot with a lot of super missiles, that is not really
Yeah, it's
explained.
a lot. Yeah, we can talk about that. Never question the game projects. Hey, that's cool.
Yeah. So now we can traverse through this and get our prize, which is the first super missile.
Nice.
And that is really what we could get.
Very nice. Super design.
And now things will be, because like the Volt, Metroid, the beta is 2 hits. So it's 10 and so on, and this, as we said, 1 and 1 regular for the small one. And
Yeah, so it makes a big difference.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's see. First we want to kill this one, and then we want to kill that one, and we want to kill it, because now we need to do kind of interesting thing. Yeah, that would be
Nice. Here's going to showcase what we were talking about. If you get right, you can work your way through rooms very quickly.
Yeah, and in many places you can, like, for example, there are places where if you're fast enough you still have the momentum, you can exit the room and start gliding and so on and so forth. So watching this doing really properly is like art. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. When people are doing pixel perfect stuff all the time.
I don't want to take a dive there because it's so, because of the physics you're kind of stuck and it's just
Yeah.
super annoying. This area is kind of annoying overall, but yeah.
I mean, it's lava.
Yeah.
And fire areas are almost always annoying.
Yeah. The thing is that, as we said of game logics, with the Varia Suit normally you should be able to go through lava now.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
Okay, first, we do something. Let's see, where is it? We pick up the second.
Still missing. Very nice. Now the super missing.
Alright, one more try then.
Yes, third time's
The charm.
charm.
Because it was
There we
super
go.
simple.
Yeah. Well, it's super simple when you know.
Yeah.
That's with everything.
And that's about it for this area, thankfully, because these robots are.
Yeah, these enemies are a
super-
pain in the behind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's, I think, everything there. Yep. We are actually keeping kind of good track also.
Which is nice.
Right, more speed. And now we are getting this out that it was not able because it was a speed boost that was needed before we had the boost.
Yeah.
5 items of this place, and then it's off to the next area. Oh! In short case, here is another perfect example of where you want to use Shine Spark to skip a kind of a annoying room. So,
And we're all about skipping annoying stuff, if possible.
let's see. There we go. Yep. And here we have Spazer beam. So now we have even better beam.
It's always like, yeah, that's game logic. Like the only place there's an enemy, of course that's where it's at. Nice. That looks so smooth.
As to say, the devil in details.
Oh yeah.
Right. That's it. We're just gonna make sure that we have picked
Everything.
everything up. Yes, we did. Good. So far, so good. No missed items. Right.
We are almost up to 1 hour, so a third of the way.
Hmm?
Is that kind of where we're at?
I would say roughly at least.
That's cool. So we are kind of on schedule.
Hmm. Okay, and now for a new one of these.
You get there?
Yeah.
Get a good angle?
Down to at least 5 because we missed most of them, but yeah.
Yeah, that was still pretty fast.
see. Okay. Yeah, can see if we can showcase a little nice thing for them. Depends if they want to work with us.
Yeah, they will probably.
Want.
So what are you trying to do?
Thing is that I want enough room to get into speed running.
Oh
speed
yes, you
mode.
have to clear these dudes.
Let's see if scoot. It's not that important, it's just top scoot, so if you get it. So the idea is that you get ghost and you kind of drop down here and then you fly through this block.
Oh,
And
you
then
just
you're-
go through the
And
entire
you're
thing.
actually flying even further because you're flying through this area and
Oh, the next one as well.
okay. So
Yeah, I can see why that would be cool. It looks pretty,
Mhm.
pretty cool and slick.
Yep. So first we just save up, and now we're getting to the breeding grounds. That is, as I said, the area that I don't like that much because mostly it's not because there's no items, so there's nothing interesting to pick up.
Yeah, so
and
it's
it's just dark.
Thank you for watching part 2 of this 100% Let's Play of AM2R. If you liked it, please press those like, subscribe buttons. I also hope to see you again in the very next part. But for now, it is bye bye.